The S&P 500 bulls pulled the S&P 500 up 1.57% for the week. Great week for the bulls. But are the dreams of a bear market for the bears over? Let's look at that right now. Welcome to the HI Bull Bear Market Report. And if you like the videos, like and subscribe. And then secondly, where do you think the S&P 500 is going to be in the next month? Do you think it's going to be higher? You think it's going to be sideways? You think it's going to be down? I'd love to know what you think. Write in the comments section below. In today's video, we're going to cover three things. Number one, risk on or risk off stance when we look at the S&P 500 US equities. Secondly, we're going to look at a little bit more granular at the S&P 500. We're going to look at a daily chart and look at what that's telling us. And then thirdly, we're going to look at some of the other indices that we like, and then the game plan going into this week. So first things first. All right, where are we as far as risk on and risk off longer term? We are still risk off longer term. And the reason being, there's two reasons. Number one is the momentum of the S&P 500 is still negative. We're still negative with the longer term. The monthly readings of the S&P 500, they're negative. And the second thing is that the structure, the longer term structure of the S&P 500 is still at least neutral, if not negative. So what do I mean by structure? At the end of 2018, it took the bears 3 weeks on a leg to pull the S&P 500 down. It made a new relative low. It has taken the bulls 6 weeks. It has taken the bulls 6 weeks to get close to where we were when the bear started that leg. We're not even past it yet. We're 100 points, ballpark 100 points away from it. So until we break that high, the structure of the S&P 500 is negative to neutral at best. So that is as far as risk on or risk off stance longer term, still in a risk off stance. And here's a look at the daily chart of the S&P 500. Few things here. I mean, look, this looks pretty good. Like we were talking about the bullish action here. We've got the trend line is broken. This is important. It's a bullish action there. Now look, we're going to leave it on here because what can happen is that we can get a rally, and if this thing rallies much further and then we get a pullback, this line can actually act as support. And so we're going to leave it on there and see if that actually does happen. Be interesting to see. Of course, the daily trend is up. I mean, you can see this thing. We got a leg up and then another leg up. This possibly a second and third. Depending on how you count it, we could have 4 legs up right here. Still a possible wedge. And we did see a break to the upside last week. We started the week out right here, Monday down, Tuesday, and then Wednesday, the bulls just took it. So we'll see if the daily can continue this positive price action. But right now, the bulls certainly looks like they've got control of the S&P 500 on the daily time frame. As far as a game plan coming into this week, there's a few things worth mentioning. Number one, emerging markets. Emerging markets look good. Last week was a good week for the emerging markets. They made a new relative high. Now they didn't close on the high for the week, but they did close in the top half of the trading range from last week. So still looks good for emerging markets, and suspect that even if we have a pullback, that we'll have a second leg up. This first leg has been strong enough where we suspect we'll have a second leg up in emerging markets. And then the other one, the US dollar. US dollar, we had a strong rally in the US dollar. We've come down off of that rally, and now we're trading sideways. And so we're going to wait and see if we get another pop to the upside in the US dollar. And then finally, the technology position. Technology looks strong. This position in particular, where the S&P 500 is not past that structural high, technology has. So it looks good for this position. The technology past that structural high, closed basically on a high for the week. Looks pretty good for technology. So with that, we don't have any new positions to add on to this week. And really, frankly, what we're waiting for is if we can get a pullback in the S&P 500 and some of the correlating markets, get a pullback and then get a strong buy signal for a possible higher low, then certainly we want to take advantage of that. With that, have a great week. And hey, just one last time, if you like the videos, like and subscribe. And then I'd really love to hear what you think about where we're going to finish or where we're going to be in about a month from now in the S&P 500. Up, down, sideways, whatever. Let me know in the comment section below. Write it down there. All right, have a great week, and we'll talk to you next time.